Last class we have derived the expression for radius of the electron around an atom, and we found that the expression for R is epsilon 0 h square by pi m e square. These are constant into n square, where n equal to 1, 2, 3, etc., where n is also known as the principal quantum number. Okay, so the name we will give it later. So n is known as principal quantum number. The reason I will explain later. So from this we know that R is proportional to n square. So R is in the ratio 1 is to 4 is to 9 is to 16. Okay, you should visualize this. So radius of the first orbit is at 1 meter. So if I draw the radius, take this as 1 meter. This is the nucleus. Okay, so this is 1 meter. Now next orbit is at 4 meter. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Next radius is here. Okay, next is at 9. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So somewhere here. I cannot draw because paper it is gone out of range. So I think the idea is clear. So these are not evenly spaced. Orbits are not evenly spaced. They are unevenly spaced. So 1 meter, then the difference is 3 meter. This is 1 meter, 4 meter, difference is 3 meter. Next is 4 meter, 9 meter, so difference is 5 meter. Next difference is 7 meter. Like that, the difference between as we go up, the difference or spacing increases. Okay, spacing between orbits increases. So they are we normally say they are unevenly spaced. Okay, so that is the idea you have to keep always in mind. R is proportional to not n, it is proportional to n square, square of the principal quantum number. So 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, like that. So they are unevenly spaced. So next we will have to obtain some more expressions. ഇന്ന് നമ്മൾ വേറെ അധികം കാര്യങ്ങളൊന്നും പറയില്ല. ഇന്ന് കുറച്ച് ഇക്വേഷൻസ് ഡിറൈവ് ചെയ്യലാണ്. Another equation for velocity of the orbital electron. So we are going to derive an expression for velocity of the electron in an orbit. Let the electron be in any orbit. Okay, so we are going to derive an expression. So this expression we already have. R equal to epsilon 0 h square by pi m e square, a constant into n square. I have just shown you from equation number 5. So now we call this radius as Rn, R suffix n. Why? Because R depends on n. So we can call R as Rn, means the radius of the nth orbit. Nth orbit, because as n changes, radius changes. So this is Rn. Okay. Now, from the Bohr postulate, we know angular momentum is integral multiple of h by 2 pi. So take that expression. Angular momentum is mvr, mass, velocity, radius, mvr equal to integral multiple n into n is an integer, h by 2 pi. Okay. From this expression, what is v? Let this m and r goes to the other side. Okay, so m and r goes to the other side. So v equal to n into h into nh by 2 pi mr. Okay, now you substitute for this r from this expression. Okay, substituting for r, So you get n into h by 2 pi m, then 1 by r. 1 by r is the reverse of this one. This is r, so you take 1 by r. So 1 by r is pi m e square by epsilon 0 h square n square. Okay. So now you cancel the common things in the numerator and denominator. Pi and m are constant, so pi they cancel the pi and m in the denominator. Now this n, one of the n cancels here, one of the h cancels here. What remains is, I have written here, e square divided by 2 epsilon 0 hn. Okay, this is what remains, e square by 2 epsilon 0 hn. Okay, now you can write this as, you add a 2 pi in the numerator and denominator. So put a 2 pi here, put a 2 pi here. So here it becomes 2 pi e square. Here it becomes 2 into 2, 4 pi. Now epsilon 0 h all into 1 by n. Okay, so v equal to velocity in an orbit equal to, we can say that these entire things are a constant, so v is proportional to 1 by n. Okay, now you add a c, velocity of light, in the numerator and denominator. So put a c in the denominator and put a c in the numerator. Okay, so we are doing nothing. So put a c numerator and denominator. So this, now this term inside the bracket becomes dimensionless. Okay, that is why we put a c. Why we put a c? Because this entire thing, in the dimension of this entire quantity inside the bracket is nothing, no dimension. Okay, so now you can write Vn. So Vn as equal to, you call this entire quantity constant as alpha. Okay, alpha into c by n. Alpha into c by n. So this quantity is known as alpha, where alpha is known as, is a constant, it is known as fine structure constant. Okay, fine structure constant. Fine structure is something, the word is something related with the spectrum, that we will discuss later. Okay, so that is why alpha is known as fine structure constant. And what is the speciality of alpha? It is dimensionless, no dimension. So this is the idea we obtain Vn. Now we can call V as Vn, V suffix n, because velocity depends on n, the principal quantum number, n, 1, 2, 3. So Vn equal to alpha into c by n. Okay. Now you calculate the value of alpha, because these entire things are known. 4 pi, we know the value of pi, epsilon 0 we know, then pi we know, E is the electronic charge, and h Planck's constant, c is the velocity of light. Substitute all the values and calculate alpha. You will get alpha as, I told you it is a dimensionless quantity, and you will get it as 1 by 137. Alpha equal to 1 divided by 137, or it is nearly 0.0073. 0.0073 alpha. Okay, so you can write now Vn equal to C alpha, that is together you can take it as a constant, then 1 by n, or you can call it as Vn proportional to velocity in orbit proportional to 1 by n, or velocity is inversely proportional to n, the number of the orbit, which is the principal quantum number. Now you put Vn equal to 1, first orbit, take the case of n equal to 1. Okay, Then V1 equal to C divided by 137 1 by 1. So C by 137. This is the value of the electron in the first orbit. Okay. So now you will get, you know, the velocity of light and its importance. Okay. Fastest velocity in the universe, velocity of light in vacuum. So 3 lakhs kilometer per second. So the velocity of electron in the first orbit is nearly 1 by C by 137. So C is nearly 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. So you cancel two zeros. Okay, so if this is 100, then two zeros will cancel. So C 3 into 10 to the power of 6, or slightly less than that, because 137 is there. So nearly 3 into 10 to the power of 6 meter per second. Okay, it's not bad velocity. It is not very bad. 10 to the power of 6 meter per second is not a bad velocity. It is a very high velocity. Okay. Now put n equal to 2, you get V2 C by 137 into 1 by 2. 1 by n is 1 by 2. 1 by n. Put n equal to 2. 1 by 2. So C by 2 into 137. Similarly, V3 is C by 3 into 137. So they are almost evenly spaced. Difference is even. Difference is always no, difference is 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4. Oh, so no, that is also not even. It is also uneven because it is varying with 1 by n. Okay. So what happens is, actually you go to the higher orbit, naturally velocity decreases. The fastest velocity is for the first orbit electron, then it's smaller velocity for the second electron, like that. So as n equal to 1, 2, 3, etc., orbital velocity decreases. That is idea. So we got an idea about the radius of the electron. Now we got the idea about the velocity of the electron in each orbit and expression for that also. Now let us calculate the wavelength. When suppose when electron, another postulate or Bohr postulate is that the energy is radiated when the electron jumps from a higher orbit to the lower orbit. So consider such a case. So let us calculate the wavelength or frequency of radiation when an electron jumps from a higher orbit to the lower orbit. For that, we know that it is the difference in energy is radiated as electromagnetic radiations. Difference in energy. So we need to calculate the energy of the electron in an orbit, means the total energy, not the kinetic, not the potential, but the total energy we should know in each orbit. This we have already calculated. Total energy of the electron in the nth orbit is En equal to minus half 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 E square by R. This we have already did earlier. So take that equation. Now substitute for R. Now we have our expression for R. Substitute for R in this expression. Then we get minus half 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 E square. This is the expression for 1 by R. Pi m E square by epsilon 0 H square n square. Okay. Now put a 2 pi again in the numerator and denominator. So we are doing nothing. Put a 2 pi here. So this becomes 4 pi. Take epsilon 0 from here. So 2 times 4 pi epsilon 0 comes. So minus sign is there. 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 whole square. Then a 2 pi has to be put in the numerator. So 2 pi square m e to the power of 4 by h square, then 1 by n square. So all the bracket terms are constants. So En, from this we can write En proportional to minus 1 by n square. These entire things are constant. Okay. So En proportional to 1 by n square. Okay. Minus 1 by n square. What this minus sign shows? Minus sign shows the electron is in the attracted condition. Minus sign shows attraction by the nucleus. Okay. So minus sign shows attraction. This is the magnitude. So En proportional to minus 1 by n square. Now we can write this energy let the electron jumps from a higher orbit to the lower orbit. Now let the electron jumps from a higher orbit to the lower orbit. So let higher orbit is n2 and lower orbit is n1. Okay. So let the electron jumps from a outer orbit n2 to lower orbit n1. Okay. Is that clear? So outer is n2, inner is n1. Then the energy released is, what is the energy? The difference, according to Bohr postulate, it is the difference in energy is radiated as electromagnetic radiation. Okay. So energy radiated or energy released, let us call it as E. So E equal to En2 minus En1, difference in energy. So that is nothing but these are constants. 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 whole square, 2 pi square m e to the power of 4 by h square. These two things are constants. Now a minus sign is there. So minus of 1 by n2 square minus 1 by n1 square. So if you absorb the minus sign here, that becomes 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Okay. Now this energy E is the energy of the electromagnetic radiation. So we can write that one as h nu. It is this E is the, we know that the difference in energy is radiated as electromagnetic radiation. Okay, so we can write E equal to h nu. Okay, so if nu is the frequency of the radiation, then we can write E equal to h nu, or nu you can write it as C by lambda. So E equal to h into C by lambda, where lambda is the wavelength of the light radiation, electromagnetic radiation. Is that clear? Now you substitute for E. So E equal to hc by lambda equal to the same expression on the right side. I have not changed, same expression as this one. Now let you take the hc on the RHS. Take hc here to the RHS. So hc comes here. So this becomes h cube c. H cube c. So 1 by lambda equal to this one. So 1 by lambda is known as another name, that is known as nu bar. I don't know whether you studied that. 1 by lambda is known as nu bar, which is known as the wave number. Wave number. What is wave number? Lambda we know wavelength. That is the length of a wave, wavelength. What is the inverse of that one? That is the number of waves per unit length, which is known as wave number. Okay, so you must have studied wave lambda and nu frequency wavelength. Now learn this one 1 by lambda. This is very important quantity. In spectroscopy, usually we use this term nu bar, which is the wave number. Okay, so 1 by lambda is the nu bar, which is the wave number. Wave number is the number of waves per unit length. Usually that unit length is in centimeter. That is custom. We take conventionally we take that length as centimeter. Okay, so nu bar equal to this same expression. Now you can see that this entire thing in the bracket is a constant. These first two brackets is a constant, and that constant you can call it as capital R, which is the Rydberg's constant, which is known as Rydberg's constant. The entire thing in these two brackets is known as Rydberg's constant capital R. Okay, so we get a simple expression nu bar equal to R into nu bar or 1 by lambda, whatever one you can write. So 1 by lambda or nu bar equal to capital R into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Okay, we arrived at a simple expression. Now from this we can easily explain the hydrogen spectra. Very easily explain the hydrogen spectra. How Bohr explained the hydrogen spectra from this expression. So nu bar equal to R into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Remember that n1 is the lower orbit and n2 is the upper orbit. Okay, always n1 is lesser than n2. Now you calculate the R. Substitute this value of all these constants. These are all known constants. So substitute and find the value of Rydberg's constant. You can see that its value is 1.097 into 10 to the power of 7 meter inverse 1. Okay, 1.097 into 10 to the power of 7 meter inverse 1. That is known as Rydberg's constant. Okay, so I think the idea is clear. Nu bar equal to R into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Very important expression. Using this expression, Bohr explained the hydrogen spectra almost satisfactorily. Okay, is the idea clear? Any doubts?